Welcome everyone to the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center's 20th anniversary Circle of Strength Brunch. I'm Erin Peters, the Executive Director at the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center, and I'm so delighted to welcome you this morning to our milestone year, 20 years of Circle of Strength Brunch. Happy to having you join us this rainy Saturday morning. At least it's raining hard here in Portland. Though we can't be here in person, enjoying a tasty meal and visiting or buying raffle tickets, I hope you'll settle in with a cup of coffee or tea and be part of this morning of caring and giving. I've got my cup of Java right there, ready to go. So to get us started this morning, I'd like to introduce Nancy Potter, the president of NCC's Board of Directors, who will offer us a welcome and a blessing. Nancy?
Good morning. On behalf of the Board of Directors, welcome to the 20th Annual Circle of Strength. If this is your first time with us, a special welcome to you. Over the next hour, you'll learn why the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center is so vital to our wider community. And whether this is your first Circle of Strength or your 20th, we need your help now more than ever. Like Annie Lamott, I believe that more than anything, stories hold us together. She tells us that, among other things, stories teach us what is important about life and why we are here. Well, I've been affiliated with the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center since 2009, and here's what I know about its story. The Servite sisters, who came from the Midwest to found NCC in 1986, had little more to go on than faith, counseling skills, a small grant, and sheer dogged determination. Their vision became the community treasure that NCC is today. You'll meet Sisters Sarah Deeby, Barbara Kennedy, and Lisa Sheridan in a few minutes. Do not be fooled by their warmth and easy humor. These women are tough. And while they're no longer working at the center, their fierce devotion to providing first-rate mental health care for all, regardless of faith, regardless of ability to pay, has been our guiding light all along. It brought NCC to fullness, it is sustaining us during the pandemic, and it will guide this agency into the future. We're all about the mission at NCC, and you are a part of it now too. By your presence here today, you are helping to write the next chapter of NCC's story. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be here today, for sharing in the mission, and for helping us spread the word about the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center. Together, we are the Circle of Strength. Will you join me in an opening prayer? Loving Creator, thank you for the gift of the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center. Thank you for inspiring and empowering its founders, and for the faithful support of so many along the way, those here today and those we remember now. Please continue to bless this story. Watch over NCC's clients, keep them safe, and bless them in their journey to healing. Strengthen and sustain the staff and clinicians who serve them. Please guard and guide them as they continue to provide mental health care for those in such great need. And bless us here today as we do what we can to support this compassionate ministry. Thank you for the opportunity to help. Amen.
Thank you, Nancy. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since that first Circle of Strength brunch at St. Therese Parish in Northeast Portland, and all the following years at the Riverside Golf and Country Club. In those early years, it was all hands on deck as founding sisters, Sister Barbara Kennedy, Sister Sarah Deeby, and Sister Lisa Sheridan organized board members and volunteers to cook food, secure donated raffle prizes, and welcome the generous women who filled the room. Circle of Strength has always been about women helping women. From that very first Saturday morning, the women who gathered together had a focus of raising money and resources for the women and children in our community with the most need for mental health care and the least access to services. Oh, I love those guys selling raffle tickets. Supporters of this important work invited their friends to join them at a table, widening our circle and bringing even more help to women and children in our area. Many of the clients were single mothers, working jobs, but unable to make ends meet. Some, like you'll hear from our client speaker today, were trying desperately to escape abusive homes and keep their children safe. Through all the years, the joys of friendship, sisterhood, and giving brought women together, with a good number attending almost every Circle of Strength held. In that spirit, we come together in our virtual room today, broadening our circle to include even more people who both care about mental health care and need it so desperately. That's the foundation of the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center's mission. Everyone is welcome and deserving of quality mental health care, and no one is turned away because of a lack of insurance or inability to pay. Your generous donations help make this mission a reality, as does sponsorship of our event. We have some fantastic and generous sponsors I want to thank today. Because of their partnership, every dollar we raise today goes straight to provide women and children with counseling. Our presenting sponsor is Deb Habel and Bruce Gulliver. Their steadfast support over the years has brought help and hope to hundreds of women and children. A big shout out to them. Pacific Residential Mortgage is at our platinum level, and a big thank you to Matt and Melissa Stashen. At our gold level, NCC is blessed with many long-term supporters, including Tom and Marilyn Fink, Pacific Seafood, Providence Health and Services, the Spencer Family Foundation, and Weston Kia Buick and GMC. They are just spectacular. At the silver level is Northwest Law Firm and Stoll Reeves LLP. Additionally, we have a fabulous thing this morning. An anonymous donor and the Maybelle Clark McDonald Fund have provided an amazing match. So this is the deal. Every gift of $250 or above will be matched dollar for dollar up to $15,000. This even includes monthly gifts that add up to $250. So really think about that as you're thinking about your gift. It makes a huge difference. A tremendous thank you to all our sponsors. We are so appreciative. I know that more than anything, Sister Barbara, Sister Sarah, and Sister Lisa would have loved to come to Portland to celebrate this milestone year of Circle of Strength's 20th anniversary. Though not here in person, they are certainly here in spirit. And through the magic of technology, Sister Sarah joins us from Omaha, Nebraska.
Greetings from Omaha. Our team of 3 has been reduced to the representation of 1. That's me. This is all due to circumstances beyond our control. Our first choice, of course, would be to be present with you today. Our second choice was being present to you through some type of electronic means. At the last moment, our electronic means failed us, and so now we are into our third choice. So allow me to welcome you, Sister Barbara, Lisa, and myself want to welcome you to the Circle of Strength. We have been honored and privileged to say these words to you now 20 times. We welcome you to another opportunity to create a stronger and healthier community. Your generosity and commitment are the cornerstone of this event. There are just 2 other words we'd like to say. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We hope that at our next meeting, we will be able to celebrate with you the 25th annual Circle of Strength. May you be blessed for your generous giving. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Sarah, so much. It's so wonderful to see Sister Sarah. As Sister Sarah said, she, Sister Barbara, and Sister Lisa had a few technical difficulties with their video. They actually had a hard drive that went bad. So just a reminder to everyone, back up your data. But they stuck through it the way we all need to these days. We're all dealing with those technical difficulties, aren't we? But Sister Sarah persevered, and we're so glad about that. You know, I know I speak for everyone here in Portland when I say that we miss Sister Sarah, Sister Barbara, and Sister Lisa so much. Portland just isn't the same without them. But they are doing important and great work in Omaha at the Servants of Mary Mother House. Even though that work is great and it's important, it doesn't make us miss them any less. You can actually say hi to Sister Sarah, Sister Barbara, or Sister Lisa yourself by putting something in the chat. It's on the screen there to your right. Please give a little shout out to the sisters or any of your fellow attendees, or maybe you'd like to say something about the center. Whatever it is, we would love to hear from you. Spread a little love around in there. We also encourage anyone who is active on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to share photos of how you're celebrating the event this morning. Maybe you're out standing in the rain, having your coffee, and thinking about what a great opportunity it is to support mental health care. So you can tag the event by using hashtag COS2021. Again, that's COS2021. Be sure you tagged the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center. You can share your photos at any time through the event, but now would also be a great time to follow NCC on social media if you haven't already. We have lots of ways to do that. Simply go to Facebook and type in at the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center. On Twitter, our handle is at NCC.org, or on Instagram, it's at NCC 1986. The year of our founding. And we're always sharing really important things. On Facebook, we have mental health tips. We've been doing a lot of stuff through the pandemic to give people coping tools when you can't get out and be with your family. So those are great. All these social media handles and channels are a great way to build your resources and connect with other people about mental health. So seeing that date right there of our founding, and Sister Sarah in Omaha makes me think back on the last 35 years of the Northwest Catholic Counseling Center. You know, we've been providing care to anyone in need, regardless of faith or finances. When the sisters started out in borrowed rooms and hardly any money or resources 35 years ago, I just don't think they could have imagined how NCC would grow, now providing counseling and workshops to more than 1,000 people every year with a staff of 12 dedicated and passionate therapists. Our therapists continue to provide compassionate mental health care to anyone in need. And you know, that's more than 1,200 people each year now. It's a lot of people who are reaching out for help, particularly now during the pandemic and as the pandemic drags on. They are NCC's true heroes, our counselors, walking with clients each day as we all struggle with these constantly changing and stressful circumstances around the COVID pandemic. It's been really hard for everyone. NCC has a varied group of therapists with a wide range of specialties, including trauma, family systems, grief, depression, anxiety, and many, many more. They help people from across the age spectrum. Right now, our youngest client is 7, and our oldest client is 89. But we have had clients even older than that in the past as well. I think maybe 95 might be the very oldest. So it's never too late to get mental health help. 2 of our therapists speak Spanish and work on our Levantar program, which gives linguistically and culturally tailored mental health care to the Latinx community. I just have to tell you, Levantar is going strong. We've provided more than 800 appointments to people in the Levantar program since the start of the pandemic. The sliding scale for people in Levantar, like all of our counseling services these days, goes down to as little as $1 a session, $1. No one who comes to NCC is turned away because of an inability to pay. Some of our clinicians have decades of experience, and some are younger in their careers, bringing the latest theories and best practices to share with all the rest of our staff. And all of our therapists have varied life experiences and extensive training, which help them work with a broad range of clients. Several of our therapists come to counseling as their second career, in fact. And I'd like to introduce you to two of those therapists right now, Shirley Price and Lacey Balmer, who show the many strengths of our clinical staff.
Yeah, I worked for the federal government for about 17 or 18 years prior to this. I really enjoyed the listening part. I enjoyed the being able to be there and help people sort through an issue and a problem. And it just spoke to me to move into this as a field, absolutely. Plus the fact that at 15 years old, I knew without a doubt that I wanted to be a psychologist or a counselor. So I just kind of went back to my dream. So I actually started here as an intern in 1994 and was hired, luckily, in 1995. So I've been here since that period of time as a therapist, and met basically Lisa Sheridan, who's one of the founding sisters.
In my previous life, I was a hairstylist, which, oftentimes people joke about how, their hairstylist is their therapist or their bartender is their therapist. So it didn't feel like an extreme leap to go from one type of career to the other. It's still very personable. It's still very person-centered, and really being able to have that time to listen to people and give them space to really feel like their time and their needs are important. My beginning at the center is maybe a little bit unconventional to most interns that start here. I started as an undergrad intern. So at Concordia, we had to do an internship, and the center had a relationship with them for their undergrad intern. I just couldn't imagine being anywhere else, so I was really excited to have the opportunity to come back as an intern in my graduate program. But I think what's kept me here and wanting to come back as an intern is really the people that are here and the relationships that I've built. I haven't found a place in my life necessarily where I felt more supported, and that the people that I worked with saw something in me that maybe I didn't even see in myself at the moment.
So if someone were afraid or worried or concerned or just is not really sure what it's like to come to counseling, what do you think you would be telling them? I mean, I know you're new at this, but right now, how's that kind of forming up for you in some fashion?
It doesn't have to be a big formal production. That sometimes it's just about having a space to talk about, how your day was, what happens to be going on in that moment. I think that there's sometimes this idea that going to counseling means that you're gonna dig into your whole family history and all of that. And sure, sometimes that
is part
is
of the
necessary
process,
and
yeah.
part of the process. But sometimes it's not about that. And sometimes it's just about being able to be in a space where you have the freedom to say what's on your mind and to feel heard and to feel like what you are going through matters in that time. And so I think that's what I would say to somebody that was really struggling with the idea of going to counseling, is that it doesn't make a person weak. It doesn't make them less than because they're seeking some sort of mental health help.
In some ways, it's exactly the opposite. It says a great deal
Yeah.
about their courage and their strength. Really kind of hit by remembering when we did some family counseling when one of my daughters was a teenager and giving us a run for her money, our money anyway. But how vulnerable it felt, and really when I think about the clients that I see, I often kind of remember how vulnerable I felt and how sort of just inadequate I felt. So it's really allowed me to have a great deal of compassion towards my clients and always to assume the very best of them and their intentions and their trials and tribulations, that to know that they're doing the very best that they can with the tools that they have at that time. And so how wonderful is it that they reach out to find some other tools or educate themselves or just get some answers or figure out a different way to approach something. So
I love that. I love the fact that counseling and some of the things that we learn as counselors and as clients, that we're not limited by the way we were raised or the way that the things we've learned or what we've experience.
So here we are at the, hopefully the tail end of COVID, although none of us really know where that's really headed. But
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I've just really seen a lot of strength come out of my clients as a result of this terrible experience, kind of the silver lining, I guess.
Definitely resilience is something that I've seen, and the clients start being able to realize that, like, that, you know, I've been through this and this and this, and as COVID requires us to pivot and change, I'm seeing that they're a little more flexible to it.
Yeah.
You know, because now we know that we can pivot if we need
Yeah.
to, right? We're all getting to the point of being exhausted
Yes.
from COVID and teletherapy and being at home all the time and all of those things, and so even through that exhaustion, we're seeing more and more that clients are recognizing in themselves that they have that resilience. COVID really, I think, showed a lot of the places that we feel like we don't have a lot of control.
Yes.
And so it also opened doors to things that we do have control over and what's important. And I think that we're seeing a shift in priorities and
Yes.
what being hopeful looks like and what being successful looks
Yeah.
like. And I think that's a big piece of where we're going to move to as we come out of COVID. I don't know that anybody really knows what it's going to look like, but I feel like that difference could be really good.
Yeah.
Because you know, as we rely on our value system to inform us on how we're going to experience the world around us, the things we experience are different now.
Yes, yeah. How wonderful is it that it opens the door that as we process our way through these transitional points that we always have an opportunity to learn more about ourselves and to learn more about our strengths and our limitations and to let go of our limitations maybe even. So I'm kind of struck by how this is the 20th anniversary of the Circle of Strength and of course being the senior member here. I remember when they first held it. Matter of fact, I even talked my mother into being the waitress at that first Circle of Strength fundraiser that they held, and yeah, and it was so much fun. And that's what kind of hits me is this legacy that Barbara and Sarah and Lisa have left us with. Really, is the fun factor of it, but it also was meant to also be going towards some very, very good things. For instance, Circle of Strength was largely aimed at, and still is aimed at, helping single moms or single women or women of divorce, things of that nature that really are struggling and need some assistance and are looking to come in for counseling and services for their children and themselves. And I just love that here we are with the 20th anniversary, and I just wonder what it will look like as we kind of carry it forward into the future.
I really feel like I'm blessed to have been able to work with Barb and Sarah for a short time. And the thing that, when I think about what my experience with them has been, it feels really almost simplistic to sum up, but, you know, strong women supporting women.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I gathered from working with them and being able to experience Circle of Strength. I got to go 1 year in person before COVID.
Oh.
And that's really what I experienced out of that was strong women supporting women. And that strength looks different in every person. And so I think that's the legacy that I would like to carry with them is strong, caring, kindness, and being
Yeah.
able to keep that flowing through the center as kind of the golden
That little
thread.
golden thread that kind of weaves it all together.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the things that I think I would really like to continue through on my work here at NCC.
Oh my gosh, Lacey and Shirley are just the best. As you can see, they share a true passion for their work, our clients, and our mission. It's really quite an honor for me to come to work every day and work with our clinicians. So many of them, like Shirley and Lacey talked about, have seen resiliency in their work with helping clients learn new tools and coping strategies during these difficult times. And more people than ever are reaching out for mental health care as the uncertainty and fear around the COVID pandemic drags on, and just the day-to-day struggles that we have all as well. We have all been profoundly impacted by our experiences over the last 18 months. There's just no doubt about it. And not surprisingly, the rates for depression and anxiety remain extremely high, with more than 41% of adults saying that they are struggling with mental health issues. The number is even more striking in younger adults between about 18 and 26. Young adults often have less life experiences and coping skills to pull on. Plus, in their shorter lives, they've been buffeted by a lot of crises, including the 2009 financial collapse and the COVID pandemic. We all know our younger kids are continuing to struggle too. In a recent poll, half of parents, say their children or teens have shown signs of a new or worsening health condition over the last several months. I mean, how can they not, with the struggles of digital learning and remote education and missing their friends and their social circles? You can see the unmet needs when you look at reports from Mental Health America. Almost a quarter of adults say they cannot get the mental health services they need. 1 in 4 can't get the mental health services they need. And I have to tell you, for kids, the numbers are overwhelming. 60% say they can't get care. 60%, more than half, which sadly leads to things like higher rates of suicide and higher rates of self-harm. It is just a terrible situation. At the same time, people continue to lose health insurance. You know, that's a number that went down for a number of years, but it now is back on the rise again for the first time in nearly a decade. And the pandemic and people losing jobs is part of that. A lot of people lost their health insurance. Sadly, the situation in Oregon is just dismal. According to Mental Health America report that was just released, Oregon has the highest rate of mental illness in the country. So overall, the highest rate. And then overall, Oregon is ranked near the bottom, 48th, for the combination of prevalence of mental illness and the low ability to access care. So we rank really low in Oregon, sadly. Unfortunately, this comes at the same time that Oregon is dealing with a true mental health workforce crisis. There is simply not enough therapists or counselors to meet the growing need. That is just the reality that we're dealing with. Years of low reimbursements, fractured systems, and the ongoing stress and demands of the COVID pandemic have led to an exodus of mental health workers from the field. People are burnt out and they are struggling. As a result, the wait times to see a counselor have ballooned from 2 weeks in early 2020 to up to 6 months in some organizations. Fortunately, NCC doesn't have a waiting list like that. We've taken action on these challenges, and luckily, our wait times are not so long. We are hiring new counselors to keep our wait times low, and we are increasing salaries to hold on to the great therapists we already have and attract new ones. That's so important because we know the only way to help financially fragile women and children is to be here and be ready when they need help and reach out. That's the way it's been for 35 years. We know people's very lives depend on serving those mental health needs and to being there when people are in crisis. I'd like to introduce you to one of those people right now, someone we were able to help, Kathy Mounts. Kathy sums up perfectly. She is the reason we do what we do.
I'm honored to share my story with you today and how I came to be a client at Northwest Catholic Counseling Center. Recently, my daughter, who's almost 37, was retelling a story from a friend who was upset that her electricity had been turned off. It was the only bill her husband was responsible for, and he hadn't been paying it, even though he said he had. My daughter expressed outrage at this. She said, "How does she put up with this?" I replied by saying I brought her brother home from the hospital as a newborn into a home with no heat because her dad didn't pay the only bill he was responsible for either, and I put up with it. I told her the only reason we had warmth that night was because Sister Sarah brought wood over for the fireplace and then had the gas bill paid so that we could have our heat on again. Sister Sarah was my therapist at NWCC. I was very pregnant with my son, working part-time at St. Rose, now Archbishop Howard, after-school program. The head teacher and I quickly connected, having children of similar ages with acting out behavior. I recall sharing my concerns around my daughter's behavior with the new baby, and she recommended Sister Sarah at NWCC as a good counselor who was experienced with children and families. I made a call and got an appointment with Sister Sarah Debe. I was 9 months pregnant, due any time, and I recall my first appointment, my focus was my daughter's jealousy around the new baby. Well, the new baby came, and it was several weeks before I was able to meet with Sister Sarah again. We continued to have regular appointments after that for quite a long time. I don't remember at what point I felt safe enough to share about the abuse that I was experiencing, but eventually it was revealed, and that's when a shift happened. Suddenly, someone actually believed me and actively worked to get me to safety. Sadly, I didn't have that with my own family. It was 18 months before I finally left my abusive husband, but throughout that experience, Sister Sarah was there guiding me and reminding me of what I was worth and what my kids deserved. There were times I was so broke I couldn't afford the minimal counseling fee to see her, which was discounted because NWCC offers a sliding fee scale for services, and even with that, they were so flexible when times were really tough for me. It was the connection that was important, not the payment. Looking back, it was a message to me that someone cared, that I mattered. Honestly, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have continued with counseling, and who knows where I would be today. There were some scary times for sure, but we escaped with a plan Sister Sarah and I created. She supported me 100% every step of the way. We spent about 5 months total in 2 shelters. In that time, I learned to be alone. I began to believe my worth and that I could have a better life for myself and my kids. I remember Sister Sarah gave me homework, which was to stand in front of a mirror, saying affirming words to myself. Well, at that time, I was in a church shelter, and the cafeteria was my living room at night. Each night after the kids went to bed, I would drag out a full-length mirror into my living room and do my homework. I felt ridiculous, yet I continued to do that the entire time that we were there. That instilled in me a belief that I truly was worthy. I think I always knew that, but it was buried years deep, and I was so beat down emotionally. I needed somebody who cared enough to encourage that back to the surface. When life settled, I decided to go to college and enrolled in the social work program at University of Portland. I wanted to work with women and children who had similar experiences to mine. I got my degree and have spent the last 24 years working with low-income individuals and families. I call it my soul work. My daughter also obtained a college degree. She's traveled and lived abroad and currently works with some of the top scientists in the world dedicated to antibacterial research. My son, who is now 32, received a degree in baking and pastry arts from Johnson & Wales University. He struggled a little bit more than his sister in where he wants his life to be, but he's recently taken steps to get back into his degree field, which I know is his true passion and will make him happy. When I say today that Sister Sarah saved my life, I believe that with every thread of my being. Long ago, she gave me a quote card that said, "All you need lies within you." I held that card so sacred. It sat on the dash of every car I drove, and it was my constant mantra for years. One particularly difficult morning, I looked at that torn and tattered card, and I decided it needed to be with me permanently, so I made it a tattoo. NWCC is such a needed resource for people. It's a place where everyone is welcome, regardless of their financial situation. Sister Sarah offered me compassion, always listening as I worked to find myself. She gave me the tools and the space I needed to unearth the strength that was always in me. Today, I know my strength and my emotional resiliency are two of my strongest attributes. I do love the woman that I've become. I have such deep gratitude for Sister Sarah and NWCC for offering me a place to heal and grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, for sharing your story of strength and survival. But it's more than survival. I see in Kathy's story that resilience and flourishing that Lacey talked about when seeing their own clients. So Ann Louise Sterry is going to join me this morning. She's a longtime table hostess and supporter, and she too knows about the resiliency that Kathy talked about.
Yes. First, I want to say I was at the first Circle of Strength, and I've been to almost every single one. What I also remember about the first one is I remember doing the dishes. I was not thrilled about that part, but it's okay. I did it. It was wonderful. So I want to tell you that Sister Barbara, I credit Sister Barbara with saving our marriage. There was a very dark time in our marriage. We had 3 kids, and we were probably married like 22 years or something. And then people go through stuff, but this was really awful. And I didn't think we were going to make it. And somebody referred me to Sister Barbara, I can't remember who, and I started seeing her, and my husband started seeing her separately. And then eventually, when we sort of were ready, we started seeing her together. And I do think if we hadn't met Sister Barbara, we may not have ended up together. And then I spread Sister Barbara's name and the counseling center's name to all my friends and all my family. And there was a time when I thought my friends and family were supporting the counseling center because there were so many of us going to see that. Even my mother, and she was 92, she would call Sister Barbara from Rhode Island, and she would have a session with her. Yep, and then I'd remind her to pay because she'd forget that part at 92. But here's the thing I want to tell you. Of all the things Sister Barbara taught me, there were many, but these 2 are just popping into my head. The first one is worry won't keep the wolf away from the door. And that was something that I really needed to hear because I thought if I worried, I could stop things, but you can't. So remember that, you guys. And the other one is, and I'm going to have this tattooed on my wrist like our client did.
Yeah, like Kathy.
It was, like Kathy did, it was, Ann Louise used to say, you are stronger than you know. And I have kept that for me, and I've also shared it with so many people, particularly my children, when they were going through hard times, that you are stronger than you know.
Yeah, I think we all have those really difficult times in our lives.
Yeah.
And with help like Kathy got and like you got, I mean, it really can be life transforming.
It was.
Mental health care.
Yep.
So we can navigate those times if we have the help that we need. And that's why we're here this morning.
Yep.
We're going to make that a reality right now. Ann Louise and I invite you to join us in providing mental health care to any woman and child in need. People like Kathy and her kids. That's what we're doing this morning.
Right. Your donations will make that possible. We can't do it without you.
So let's get started.
Yep.
We have a goal this morning of $65,000. Every dollar we raise here goes straight to providing counseling to women and children accessing NCC's sliding scale.
And we are going to do it. It's so easy to donate. Okay, so you can simply text COS 2021 to the number 44321 and make a donation. COS stands for Circle of Strength. Duh. You'll receive a text back with a secure link to complete your donation. Then you can also click to donate the button. It's right up above us, okay? You can give online. You guys are so up to date, I can hardly stand it. You can give online right now. And if online isn't your thing, we have someone taking donations over the phone. You can talk to them. Call 503-522-5745 with your credit card, and we'll take care of that. Again, that's 503-522-5745, because we got you covered.
Absolutely. Denora's back at the office. She'll answer your call, and you can see the information right below us here.
Yeah.
So thanks to an anonymous donor and the Maybelle Clark McDonald Fund tonight, Ann Louise, we have a spectacular match. So
I'm
this is the
ready.
deal.
Okay.
Every gift
Yep.
of $250 or above will be
Okay.
matched up to $15,000.
Okay. That's cool.
Isn't
Let's
that
do
awesome?
It. That's like doubling your money.
Exactly.
I can't stand it.
That's
Okay.
exactly what we're looking
Yeah.
at, a doubling
Yeah.
of money today.
Okay. Now, there's a slight delay in receiving some of the data, but we promise we'll do our best in announcing each and every gift at every level. If we miss your gift, let us know in the chat so we can make sure we show you some love because, darlings, love is what it's about.
Absolutely. That is exactly what it's about today. We're showing love for all the women
Yep.
and children in need.
Yes.
So along with the gifts coming in live right now, we have a lot of fabulous people who pledged gifts or sent them early so that we could work towards that match.
Wow.
So we're going to thank all of you too. So right
Okay.
now we're going to start at the $1,000 and above level.
Okay.
And we're going to start with some of the gifts that have come in. Including Debbie and Ken Willett. Ken's on our board of directors. Nancy Potter and Carl Wamser. Nancy is the president of the board of directors. You saw her earlier. Tom and Marilyn Fink, Bethany Bocci, Janine McAnich, and Christine Tracy, who used to be on our board. Those are the fabulous gifts coming in at 1,000 or above. And I'm telling you, that makes a big difference. $1,500, for example, just like Tom and Marilyn Fink gave, that will get 10 new clients into therapy.
Wow.
I mean, think about the life-changing effect that could have on people. I mean,
Yes.
really, it makes a huge difference. So those are the ones. Oh, and we've already got some other.
Oh
Oh,
my
look,
gosh,
Kathy Mounts,
there's more.
our client gave
my
money. That is
gosh.
just great.
That's fabulous. And if I could read the rest of those
Yeah,
names,
please do.
I would
Let's
say-
give some love out there.
If I could read them, I would tell them I have to move closer.
Oh.
Well, I can't even read them.
I'll
sorry.
read them for you.
You have to read. Oh
That's
my
that's
God.
the advantage. I have,
Oh my God.
I have glasses, so
I know,
can
I
do that.
can't read.
So
All right.
Kathy Mounts, Margaret Johnson, Jill Morby, Kate Tobin, Mary Tobin, she's on our board of directors.
Yes.
Thank you, Mary, with
Yeah.
$1,000. That's just awesome.
Wow.
That's really, I mean, we have so many wonderful supporters and
Yes.
givers that really, in their true heart and soul and essence, know the importance of mental health care and know that so many people struggle with that dual burden of mental health issues and poverty. I mean, it just, it can be such a weight.
And actually, now that you said that, it reminds me of something I wanted to talk about is this gorgeous artwork we have here, Circle of Strength.
Yeah.
Because this was done by Sister Mary Bertoli. She actually has a website, marybertoliart.com. She did this for the center, I think, 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's been a long time.
Okay, so her mission, went to Mississippi to work with low-income children in schools. And so low income, they didn't have any art supplies. So she used little, like, colored paper, probably like tissue paper, and twisted it up to make fabulous art. Now this, I actually have this in my house, a big one of it in my music room. It's at the center, the original. You can go see, then you can see those little pieces of twisted paper. You can get it as cards, writing cards, note cards at the center. If you go online to the center, you can find that, right?
Absolutely, you can get those cards on our website.
Yeah. And I send them to all the time. I send them for Christmas cards because really, what is it about but the circle of strength?
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. It's hanging in our lobby, and you can really see all the tiny pieces of paper that are in that. Oh, look at all the other people
More
who are
people
giving here.
coming.
So Patricia, no last name, Janice Romano. Janice used to be our accountant. She is just fabulous.
Yeah.
Kim Berberick, she used to work at the counseling center. She's on her way to Boston. She's moving to Boston with her husband. Jackie Brown is a friend of mine. Thank you, Jackie. And Amy Nist is used to be on our board of directors.
Oh my goodness.
She's just fabulous.
Oh my goodness.
So let's go to the 500 level now.
Okay.
So 500 up to $999. That's the next level. Remember, all these gifts over 250 count in the match. So we have Anonymous, Cheryl and Vinnie Carbone. Now, Cheryl is a member of our board of directors. Diane Milliman and her housemate, Pam Margison. Thank you both so much for giving $500. Kathy Michael gave $500. Zastrow Newman Charitable Family Fund, $500. And Rick Murray, a board member, $500. And you may see some of the, when people are giving, you may see some of the odd amounts in the gifts, and what that means is that people are adding extra money to cover the cost of the credit card.
Wow, that
so
is
that's how that works.
fabulous.
So when you look
Let's do it.
you see the
Yeah.
97 cents, $8.97 additional. That's what's going on with that.
And look, more names are coming that I can't read, but you can.
So Carla Gonzalez, thank you, Carla, $1,000. She's on our board of directors. Barbara Hayes, $100. Thank you, Barbara. Joanne Paxton. Joanne is a long-time table hostess. She is just the best. Joanne, thank you so much for your $1,000.
And look at that! Look at those numbers going up.
They just keep going.
Oh my gosh.
Deb Hibbs. And actually, you can tell a little bit about monthly giving too, can't you?
Yes, because if you prefer to make your gift monthly like I do, because in the beginning, like I gave $10 a month, I didn't have so much money, okay? But you can do it monthly rather than all at once. And the cool thing is the matches we have for tonight work for that.
Absolutely.
So right now I'm going to increase my monthly giving would match it, but I'm going to increase it so that it gets this match today, right?
Awesome, yeah.
I'm going to do that. Now, all you have to do, it's a great way to support your center, and it's the best way to be part of the Faithful Friends program.
Yep.
I'm a Faithful FF. A
Faithful friend. We
FF.
love our faithful
we
friends.
Are. We're a group, and you guys can be part of that group too. Yeah. And guess what? If you give enough to get to the $250 mark today, it's only $20.83 with the 3 repeating a month.
Yeah, and Faithful Friends is a great way to give. The way that works is you just decide whether you want to do it by credit card or your checking account. It comes out every month. You can stop at any time. It's a really painless way to support, and you don't even have to think about it. And every month you're helping people.
That's right. It's awesome.
And you can find that monthly option on the screen when you click that donate button right up there. That
there it
donate.
is. Yep.
There's a one-time option or a monthly option. So you just click monthly to begin your ongoing donation. That monthly option is also available when you text. And what do you text?
COS 2021 to 44321.
So easy to remember.
Yep.
And actually, it's very cool when you do that, because we were testing yesterday, and I gave some money to test. When your gift goes through, you get confetti on your phone.
Oh,
it's so
confetti
cute.
on my phone is what I want.
So
Yes.
that's a really easy way to get started. You can also call.
You could call 503. My husband loves the calling part. 522-5745, and we will set you up with a monthly donation, and you can talk to a real person.
You bet. You bet.
It's awesome.
So now we're going to go to the 250. The 250 to 499 level.
And look,
so
look,
I mean, and we have had a lot of gifts come in. Oh my gosh, at this level. So let me just tell you, we've had Jan Schreiber, which is the mother of Melissa in our office.
Yes.
Margaret Retz. Rita Lambert, Cheryl and Robert Sofke, Julie Patterson Holland, also a table hostess.
Yes.
And always comes to Circle of Strength. Barbara Bridge,
my
Beth Nevu, Debbie Lake, Jane Bronger, Natalie and Oz Osborne. Natalie used to be on our board as well. Shirley Price, our counselor, gave. Elizabeth Tobin, Jane Tobin. Both are related to Mary Tobin, who we called out a little bit earlier.
Yes.
She's on our board. Karen Wegener, Karen and her husband Brian are fabulous supporters. They're faithful friends as well. Karen always comes to Circle of Strength. Jean Gale, Marilyn Fleming, Cheryl Christopher, Allison Grossblatt-Waite, she's a friend of mine, Allison is, the Servants of Mary, Carol Herman, Glenn and Monet Rubin. Glenn used to be a counselor, worked for us. Isla Thornton, Jeanette Ekman, Kenzie Woods, Louise Casper, Mary Davidson, Pat Bladen, Ruth Julkowski, Trish Bradley, also used to be on our board, Kyra Thompson, she's on our Circle of Strength Planning Committee, Dita Pepin, Karen Hoppert, Beth Stanton, she's a friend of mine, gave by phone $250. Thank you, Beth.
Oh my gosh.
Margaret Johnson, Trudy Brannon. So Trudy, thank you so for your generosity. Trudy's also a faithful friend like you. Leslie Helwin and Cynthia Campambasso. Thank you all so much. We are really making great progress towards our match. The cost of a counseling appointment for women or child on our sliding scale ranges from about $140 to $150 a session. So think about how many people will be able to help with this money.
Absolutely, because this counseling is truly life-changing. I can attest to that. Look at all the gifts at this level. It's amazing. These will be matched.
It's really amazing. During the pandemic, we cut our sliding scale down to $1 a session. $1.
And look over there at the more people that are giving.
I know. Oh
look
my
at
gosh.
those numbers. Look at those numbers.
It keeps going up. Oh my gosh. So everyone pays a little bit towards their care, but these donations really are the
Right.
ones that make
Right.
a difference. We work
Exactly.
with anyone's circumstances.
Yes.
So thank you everyone for giving. You know, I think.
Have
with
we
that-
wait,
oh my
have we
gosh.
made our match?
I think we made the match.
We made our match.
Yeah, because look at the
Whoa.
numbers. Yay,
Oh my gosh,
we made the
confetti,
match. Yay! High five. High
Oh my
five.
gosh! And this is fabulous.
High five.
High five. And we touch. It's okay because we sanitized and
That's
we are
right.
both
We're
vaccinated.
sanitized. We're 6 feet apart.
That's
We're
why-
all wearing masks here too,
Yeah.
just so everyone
Well,
everyone
not at
knows.
the moment, but-
So I mean that
What we're
extra.
talking.
Look at the extra. Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Look what
We're-
extra.
oh my gosh.
We're almost to our goal.
Oh,
Oh
come
my
on,
gosh.
we have
we're
more
only
time.
like $700 from
And
our
they don't
goal.
even have my gift in, and we have more time.
We do. We
Because
have
mine's
more
going to
time.
be part of the match.
We
Okay.
have more time to give. So let's look at some of our other gifts that have come in.
Okay, so $100.
At $100, this is between 0 and
Yeah.
249 because
Right,
the
okay,
250 was our
yes,
last
yeah.
level. We have Father Joe McMahon. Thank you, Father Joe. Beth King, Patrick Shea, Penny McArdle, Karen Keene, Nancy Chafin, Meg Pradlett, Joanne Bruno, Charlotte Davies, Ginny Crawl. Ginny is such
Oh,
a wonderful
I know
supporter.
Ginny.
Oh,
I
do
know
you?
Ginny. Yes, I know Ginny.
Her brother is Father Jack Crawl, who was a huge supporter
Yeah.
early in the center.
Yeah.
And Jenny's a faithful friend as well. And Mara Tett, Kathy Howell, Pat Crane, April Garman, Barbara
I know her
Custer.
too.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Barbara Custer Swales, Faith Bowers, Mona Lowe. So Mona Lowe is
the
Shirley's mom.
Mother, and she was a waitress at the first.
That's-
when I was doing dishes.
That's right.
Oh, yes,
That's
I remember
exactly
that.
right.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Rosie George.
Yeah.
Rosie is Sister Sarah's biological sister. So
Oh, my
Rosie
goodness.
gave a gift back from the Midwest. Thank you, Rosie.
Oh,
We love you. We love
yes.
Rosie. She's fabulous.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else do we have? Oh, Stephen Poehler, Gail Bean, Ken Berberick. That's
Yes.
Kim's father. He used to
Right,
work for
right,
us.
yeah.
Scott and Susan Lawrence, Sister Joan Flynn, Charlotte Hoopman, Beatrice Olaboni.
Oh my God, she's our beautician.
Is she?
Actually, that's how she got. I invited her to one of the circles
Oh,
of
you're
strength. That's
kidding.
how she met you guys.
Thank
Yes.
you, Beatrice, for
She's amazing.
for
Yeah.
continuing to
That support.
give. We have some other gifts. So Jill Morby
Yeah.
just gave by phone.
Right, and
she gave, and Jill gave twice, 150 and 150. Thank you, Jill, for your generosity. That is
Yeah.
just great. Helen Christian
Yeah.
and Kate Tobin. So. Oh, Joel Morby. I'm sorry. Jill Morby
and
gave
Joel.
150, and
And
Joel
Joel
Morby gave.
And look over. Oh, it's gone. Sorry. I'm sorry. Another high five. We surpassed our goal. Let's see how far we can go.
Yay,
Let's see
yay.
how
Okay,
far we can go.
We can keep pushing it on.
Yes,
we
yes,
can
let's-
keep pushing it on, everyone. There's no reason to stop now.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
No.
all the gifts are meaningful.
Right.
They really support.
Because that's something I really also. I know you would echo the same thing, but it does. I don't want you to think that if you can't give something 250 up, that it won't matter, because it does matter. If you give $25, it will matter. So whatever to support women and children, because it is. I'm sorry, the most important thing. Really. So whatever you give, right, Erin?
Absolutely. Every little bit makes a difference. And don't forget, some companies will match your donation. You know, there's not a place
Yeah.
in the online phone to note that, but you can just put it in the chat or send us an email, give us a call, and we'll follow up with your company match, because that's another way you can double your money.
You should follow up. I'm my company, so you should
Yeah.
follow up with. So
Oh, you.
You should follow
You have your
up
own
with me and
company.
See if my company will double the match.
Talk to your boss.
Talk to my-
Tell her your boss needs to be more.
And look at more people over there. Did we say those
Oh my
people?
gosh, yeah, we have. These are people who have all given it, and I cannot believe that
Yeah.
we have we've surpassed our goal today.
Yes.
That is just the
And we have
the
more.
best.
Wait, we have some more minutes. Oh, we have 8 more minutes.
8 more minutes.
We could do more. We could do more.
We
People,
could.
Don't
So
forget. Go ahead.
If you haven't given yet, there is still time.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Anne-Louise, even after the event here, you can still go to
Oh,
our
yes.
website and
Yes.
still give. There's never a bad time to give a gift to help women and
Right.
children in need of mental health
Right.
care. You know, so this morning has been fantastic. I'm so excited that we've
know.
surpassed
Me
our
too.
goal.
Me
That's
too.
just it just makes me so happy.
Yeah.
And having
Yeah.
and much like you, I got mental health care when I needed it. And one of the reasons I'm so passionate about it is I had insurance and resources, and it saved me. And I can't
Yeah.
imagine where I would be today without that
Yes.
without that help. So
Yes.
it really makes a huge difference. So thank you, Anne Louise, for making
Okay.
it so special.
All right. Thank you. And even though we're not in the same room with you guys, and I really miss that bread and butter and coffee, I'm going to go get some right away, we can still feel the love. We have it here.
Yeah.
We have it with the circle of people that are helping us right here, and we have it with you out there.
Yeah, and we will look towards
We
being
will.
together again next year.
Yeah.
So mark your calendars. We'll send that date out after the first of the year, and
yes,
we will be together in one giant
Room.
room
Yes.
again.
Yes,
so
we will.
thank you, Ann Louise, for being such a wonderful co-host today.
Thank you, Erin. I just want to thank you for being able to read all the names. I'm so impressed, you guys. I'm really
I
impressed.
say
You
glasses.
can't. The print is so small, you can't believe she can read that. So I'm really impressed with you.
Well, that's why I got to make sure my glasses are up to date. So, and there are
Yeah.
lots of other people who have
Yeah.
helped make this event happen. A big thank you to Stephanie Avery, who's over here
Yeah.
in the room today. She's NCC's Develop Associate, and she did a ton of work on this.
Yeah.
Denora Alvarenga is back at the office, manning the phones if
Yes.
people want to call in, but that number.
Yes.
And and all of our
Yeah.
the members are of event planning committee. We had some great help, including Barb Cates,
Always.
Christine Tracy, Julie Rowland, Mary Tobin, Mercedes
Mercedes,
Lepenzi,
always.
Bethany Bocci, and Kyra Thompson. And many, thank you all for the gifts that you gave too, because our
Yes.
committee, it gives very
Very-
generously as well.
Yep.
Tim at Matchlight Video shot our videos, and Ryan and everyone here at the AV department were
Yes.
fabulous. Thanks, Andy, for your excellent work on the floor
Yes.
here today. We appreciate
Yes.
what all of you do.
Yes.
And probably, first and foremost, I
Right.
should say thank you to Sister Barbara, Sister Sarah, and Sister Lisa
Yes.
for their vision and unwavering
Yes.
tenacity in creating a place where everyone
Yes.
can get mental health care regardless of their personal circumstances. I mean, it's their
Is-
vision that made this a
Yes.
reality.
Yes. And as a result of this generosity, tonight, what are we up to? Can we show the number? I don't know if we can show it on that screen over there again, the number we're up to.
Yep,
66,356.
Great, great,
They
great.
didn't
Thank
even
you.
count mine yet. As a result of this generosity, so many women and children who are struggling financially will be able to get the mental health they desperately need. We're so grateful for your partnership in this work. Otherwise, there would be no work.
Right, it's true. And there's lots of ways that you can continue to support mental health in our community. We're going to show you a couple of those right now. First, you can donate to a mental health care organization. Well, you've already done
You've
that.
done that? We're good for there. Okay,
Yep.
tick.
We've got you covered there. But you can continue to spread the love
Yeah.
by creating your own virtual fundraiser for NCC. You know, that's a really interesting way to do it.
Right.
We have tools on our website, and you can do your own little mini version of what we're doing now, or you can hold what's called a party with purpose. You have your friends over when it's safe to do
Yeah.
so, and have a little party, and we give you some mental health facts and some information, and you can share with your friends all about mental health care.
Or
Isn't that-
I could get that packet and I could give it to everybody I meet.
You could.
When they come to my house one at a time.
Absolutely.
I think I'm going to do that. Okay.
Absolutely.
And you can volunteer your time like I'm doing. NCC is always looking for volunteers to help plan fabulous events like this one, to help out with our board, our committee. We also have other office tasks throughout the year, which will be more and more available as more and more of us are vaccinated and
Yeah.
it's safer. Just email donate@nwcounseling.org and we'll get you connected. And I just want to tell you, sometimes when you go there, you help. They do have coffee and sometimes even like donuts or
Oh,
something.
we're all about the
Or bread.
snacks.
We're all about the snacks, right? And that's really the most important thing.
We're all about. In fact, one of our generous generous supporters, Kathy, Karen Keene, this week donated a new refrigerator. It has a freezer. So we had ice cream this week for the first time in our office. We have a freezer. Thank you, Karen, for doing that. That's just awesome. Oh, we have a couple of more gifts that came in.
more?
Vicky Carl
Oh, God.
just gave $125. Vicky is a long-term supporter,
Yeah.
a faithful friend, and a rock star volunteer who comes
Yeah.
into our office and does all kinds of things. She is just amazing.
She just does. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Leslie Bossert as well.
Okay.
Did that? Gave as well.
Yeah.
$250.
Yeah.
So lastly, as we're
Okay.
wrapping up here, the final thing you can do
Yeah.
to help out is share your story. A
Yeah.
great way to support friends and family in their mental health journey is by sharing with them how therapy has helped you.
Right.
You can do this by having a conversation with friends or family, or even sharing words of encouragement on social media. We have a toolkit, like I said, on our website. We've got graphics to get you started, or you
love
can
it.
email us your story or share anonymously on our website. Just click Connect. And we use those stories in grant applications or to letters for donors, but we always make them anonymous, so no worries about that. Thank you, Anne-Louise, to all of you today who made a difference.
Yes.
Stay safe and healthy, Anne-Louise.
Ditto.
And all of you out there, please stay safe and healthy. Thank you again for growing our circle of strength. See you next year.
Ciao, ciao.
Happy 20th anniversary, Circle of Strength.
Happy 20th anniversary, Circle of Strength. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you y gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you and gracias.
Gracias.
Thank you.